Welcome, everyone. Today, I'm honored to be joined by Premilla Deonath for an important conversation marking the 50th anniversary of the Soweto uprising. 50 years ago, courageous young South Africans sacrificed so much for the freedoms we enjoy today. As we honor their legacy, Premilla will share why it's more important than ever for young people to register to vote, make their voices heard, and help shape the future of South Africa. With voter registration taking place on 1st and 2nd August, this is a timely, non-partisan discussion, encouraging every eligible citizen to participate in our democracy. Let's begin. How are you, Premilla?
Good afternoon, Siddharth. Good afternoon, listeners and viewers. I'm doing great, and thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Premilla, why is it so important for young people, especially those aged 16 and over, to become involved in the voter registration process and start taking an interest to local government?
At the outset, if you allow me to, Siddharth, I just want to mention that
Sure.
as chairperson of Muse Community Foundation, we are an organization that are apolitical. So all my views that are being listed here is going to be in the same thread of thought that we do not want to influence people. We want to influence them to register, but not force them into any political party. So, coming back to your question, um, everyone today says the youth are the leaders of tomorrow, and I want to disagree. Why can't they be leaders today? They are
Mm,
the stakeholders in South Africa today, right now, right here, not tomorrow. The decisions made by local government directly affects their lives, whether it is access to housing, employment opportunities, roads, public transport, libraries, sports facilities, safety, and economic development opportunities. So, if we keep telling them that they are the future leaders, they will wait for the future to become the leaders of the future,
mm.
not now. So, listen up, youth. You are the leaders today, not sometime in the distant future. That is why the country is where it is. Look at the ages of those who are ruling in parliament. All should have
Mm.
retired by now. We need new blood. Our youth must rise and take the rightful place in every sphere of this country's governance. Well, so that the first step towards having a voice in these decisions is registration. In South Africa, every citizen aged 60 and older can register to vote, even though voting can only take place from the age of 18 upwards. By registering early, young people are taking ownership of their future and ensuring that their voices are counted when decisions are being made about their communities. So, for young people in Ward 68, that is where I am based, this is a particularly important moment. Some residents were previously registered in Ward 75, which has now been demarcated into Ward 68. Others have relocated from different cities and provinces and need to update the registration details. It is essential that everyone checks the registration status and ensures that they are registered in the correct ward so that their votes can have a maximum impact where they live.
Awesome. Many young people believe that local government has little impact on their lives. How do decisions made at the municipal level affect their daily lives, from education and housing to roads, safety, and job opportunities?
That's a good question, Siddharth. Local government is the sphere of government that is closest to the people on the ground. It is responsible for many of the services that affect us daily. When roads are repaired, streetlights are maintained, parks are developed, refuse is collected, drainage systems are functioning, and sewage systems are rehabilitated, this neighborhood will become safer. And this is the responsibility of the municipality towards all communities. Municipalities also influence local economic development and they can create conditions that will attract investment and employment opportunities. In Ward 68, this is particularly relevant. We are situated alongside major industrial hubs, manufacturing plants, logistics corridors, and the South Industrial Basin. Yet many of our residents feel that there is a disconnect between the employment opportunities that exist on our very doorstep and the number of people who are actually employed from our community. So, having a voice in electing your own counselor, this is addressed mainly to the youth, means that you can hold that counselor accountable for fast tracking matters that are important to you and for looking into issues that you raise about the industry around us, earmarking future opportunities for the people who live in the immediate surroundings. Our young people frequently express frustration about unemployment and a lack of opportunities. Just to take you a step further, Sadat, nationally, the youth unemployment level remains alarmingly high. Amongst those aged 15 to 24, unemployment exceeds 60%. Local government may not be able to solve every challenge, but it plays a critical role in creating economic opportunities, facilitating investment, supporting skills development initiatives, and ensuring that communities benefit from development in their own area. So, if young people want change, they need a seat at the table, and registration
Mm.
is the first step towards securing that seat. So, youth of today, you matter. Your voice matters. So, take that step now.
That's true. Your youth education turnout has often been lower than expected. What do you think are the biggest reasons for this, and how can we encourage more young people to register and participate?
I understand that many young people feel disillusioned, and I'm the mother of four kids myself, and they see high unemployment, rising cost of living, limited opportunities, and they question whether the vote can really make a difference. And some feel that politicians only appear during election periods and they
Mm.
disappear afterwards, which is mostly true, as you know. And these frustrations are all understandable. However, choosing not to participate does not improve the situation. When young people stay away from the democratic process, decisions are still being made without their voices being represented. So we need to shift the conversation from politics to power. Registration is not about supporting any particular political party. It's about protecting your right to choose. It's about ensuring that when decisions are made about your future, your community, and your opportunities, your voice is included. So, young people, you are the largest demographic group in our country. If you register and participate in large numbers, you are going to influence the priorities, shape the policies, and you can demand accountability from those elected to serve you. So you will have a lot of power. And talking about Ward 68, you can have the power to hold the councillor that is elected accountable.
That's true. The youth of 1976 fought for freedom and a voice in South Africa's future. How can today's generation honor that legacy by becoming active and informed participants in democracy?
I'm someone who has lived through apartheid. So this question is deeply personal. I remember South Africa where people are judged by the color of their skin. I remember buses reserved for whites only. I remember beaches with signs that read whites only and benches in town which read no dogs or non whites allowed. I remember separate entrances at public facilities like police stations and post office and the daily humiliation of institutional discrimination. I lived through the era of the 1976 student uprisings when many people risked their lives to challenge injustice and demand dignity, equality, and freedom. Many of them paid the ultimate price so that future generations could enjoy rights that they themselves never had. Today's youth did not create democracy, they merely inherited it. The greatest tribute they can pay to the youth of 1976 is not merely to remember that sacrifice once a year on June 16. It goes further than that. It is to exercise the rights that were won through that sacrifice. So, registering to vote is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to honor that legacy. Democracy is strongest when citizens participate. Every young person who registered is helping to protect the freedoms that previous generations fought so hard to achieve.
All right. For young people who have never registered before, what is the registration process? What documents are needed? And where can they go to register?
The process is straightforward. South African citizens who are 16 years or older can register as voters. To register, they need a valid South African ID document or a smart ID. They can register at the local registration station, which I'll mention towards the end, during this coming weekend of 1st and 2nd August. Although this is the last date to register at the voting station, they can still register until the president announces the date for discontinuation of registration. They can register online until that date that he announces. In Ward 68, they are very fortunate because the people are making house to house visits to assist people to register online. As a youth, you are very techno savvy, so you can even do it yourself by using the link provided. However, there are many people who don't have data or smartphones, so they will be assisted by the volunteers who are coming on every road to assist them with any challenges they face when they are trying to register. Everyone is encouraged to take advantage of this opportunity to register. They are also encouraged to ask questions and to request help in areas that need assistance in service delivery. It's very easy to identify these volunteers. They'll be coming in white t shirts and probably having ERPM on them, but they are not there to influence people to vote for any party. They are there to assist residents to register. That is our main goal. Residents, you should also verify that you are registered in the correct ward. This is particularly important for residents who previously registered in Ward 75, which is now Ward 68, as well as those who have recently moved into the area from elsewhere. Checking your registration status takes only a few minutes, but it ensures that your vote counts where you live.
Lastly, if you could speak directly to every South African ahead of the local government elections, what message would you give them about the power of their voice and the importance of registering, regardless of which political party they choose to support?
That's a very important question. My message is very simple. Do not surrender your voice. You may be frustrated, you may feel unheard, you may be disappointed by the pace of change, but your future cannot be shaped by silence. I am often asked why I spend so much time encouraging young people to register. The answer is simple. I've seen what life is like when people do not have a voice. I've lived through apartheid. I've witnessed discrimination, exclusion, and injustice. I have seen young people fight for freedoms that many of us now take for granted. The youth of 1976 marched so that future generations would have a say in shaping South Africa. Today, no one is asking you to face tear gas, bullets, or imprisonment. We are simply asking you to register. Can you at least do that? Whether you support one political party, another political party, or none at all, registration gives you the power to choose. It gives you the power to hold leaders accountable. It gives you the power to influence what happens in your community. The future of Ward 68, Wentworth, and Merebank in Durban and South Africa belongs to the young people who inherit it. So register, participate, be informed, ask questions, demand accountability. More importantly, never allow anyone to convince you that your voice does not matter, because history has shown us that when young people use their voices, they can change a nation. The youth of 1976 fought to be heard. The youth of 2026 must choose to be counted. Registration is more than a civic duty. It is a declaration that your future matters, your community matters, and your voice matters. So register, participate, and help to shape the South Africa you want to live in. I am encouraging you to
Mhm.
register because democracy only works when people participate. The youth of 1976 fought for the right to have a voice. Registering is how today's youth can protect and exercise that voice.
That's really powerful. Camilla, before we wrap off, is there anything else you'd like to touch base on that's really close to your heart?
Yes, Siddharth. Because I've seen both sides of history, I've lived
Mhm.
in a South Africa where people are denied a voice because of the color of their skin. And I've lived in a democratic South Africa where every citizen has a voice. I know the value of that right because I know what it feels like
Mm.
not to have it. That is why I encourage young people not to waste the freedoms that others fought and sacrificed for. November 4th is the date for our local government elections. I'm going to just wrap up by mentioning where they can go this coming weekend on 1st and 2nd to have a live registration and encourage them if they cannot make it this weekend to also exercise the right to register online. The venues that they can go to register this weekend are ML Sultan St. Mary's Primary School, Nizam Primary School, Junagadh Primary School, Ganges Secondary School, Osterville Community Hall, Wentworth Primary School, Wentworth Secondary School, and Gardenia Primary School. Young people, you want change, you can get change, and my message is simple. Change begins when you participate. So register first, then use your vote wisely. If you don't occupy your place in democracy, someone else will make decisions about your future for you. The future belongs to you, the present belongs to you, but only if you claim it. If you don't claim it, it's too late to complain later. So be the one who stands up and says, I stood up, I registered, I voted, I fought for my city. Thank you, Sadat.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for your time, Premilla.
Thank you, Sadat. Thank you for the interview.
You're most welcome.